What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. It's homecoming for Edge as he returns to Toronto to battle Damian Priest, but Edge isn't the only Torontonian as he'll be joined by WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Edge's retirement date, a superstar is still getting a massive push, Gigi Dolan is injured, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and the non-wrestling channel Incredible. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, another Raw brawl. As some might complain about the frequency which WWE shows are starting with brawls, but do fans want brawls or a 10-minute promo? Well, last night's backstage brawl between Riddle and Rollins intensified their feud and got off Raw to an electrifying start as the two battled backstage with their furious fight spilling out into the arena. Number 2, Trish is back. And the WWE used Trish Stratus well, with Stratus playing off the fans' love for her to add heat to Bayley, Io Sky and Dakota Kai. But this was just the start as Stratus teased an in-ring return against Bayley, and later Trish inspired Aaliyah to take on Bayley, another example of how useful a legend can be without any physicality. Number 3, Io and Dakota advance. Io Sky and Dakota Kai are headed to the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament Finals, quite the accomplishment for two superstars who just returned. Not only did Sky and Kai defeat two veterans, they did so without any interference from Bayley, showing this team is capable all on their own. A good setup for Dolph vs Finn, as WWE spent a couple of minutes to make the Dolph vs Finn match mean more, with Balor interrupting Ziggler's interview, calling him washed up and getting pimp slapped for his troubles. Their subsequent match was fantastic. It is a shame that WWE has jobbed Ziggler out so much that fans know he has no chance even against Balor, another wrestler who's been booked badly. Number 5, Hometown Heroes. As WWE played up its hometown heroes with Edge and Trish appearing in Toronto, they even found out a way to give SmackDown superstar Aaliyah some time in the ring as a Toronto native battled Bayley. The Aaliyah-Bayley match was the win-win situation as it gave Bayley a chance to get more heat on her while also giving Aaliyah some much needed television time. Number 6, a hometown heel. Kevin Owens is a vicious heel, but he wasn't last night as a Canadian superstar received a hero's welcome when he answered the challenge of fellow heel Chad Gable. It's good to see the WWE experiment with heel versus heel matchups, just as it did with face versus face matches last week between Styles and Bobby Lashley. Number 7, Star-Crossed Superstars. The program involved Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Miz and Ciampa has been well played out as 4 superstars' paths have crossed over the last month, culminating in last night's tag team match. This tag match was a perfect follow-up to their past battles and demonstrated how to intertwine storylines logically, resulting in superior storytelling. Number 8, Loomis the Lunatic. Another sign of the WWE's more complex storytelling was last night's appearance by Dexter Loomis. The WWE has been teasing fans with mysterious acts of vandalism backstage and repeated attempts by former WWE superstar Dexter Loomis to invade Raw, leading fans to wonder whether they were connected. Their slow build of shifting things from a background to the foreground shows the WWE can be patient with its storytelling. Last night's heightened security provided no match for Loomis, as he not only impersonated one of the security guards, but he kidnapped The Miz. They wisely kept fans in the dark as to what happened to The Miz, making this one of the most suspenseful segments in a long time. Number 9, Johnny Wrestling is back. Johnny Gargano's return showed the WWE is willing to change things up when it comes to returns. Some returns involve wrestlers trying to invade the show, while others feature surprise attacks on superstars, such as Cross's recent return and ambush of Drew McIntyre. Last night's in-ring return by Johnny Gargano was as straightforward as it gets, with Gargano discussing his 9-month absence and his goals as a wrestler, that being winning the Intercontinental and US Championships as well as working WrestleMania. Gargano drew on his personal life, incorporating the birth of his child into his promo, letting the fans know he couldn't be a good father if he didn't follow his dreams. And he came out to his theme Rebel Heart, a lovely little touch. Number 10, playing on the past. As good as Gargano's promo was, the WWE took things to the next level when it had Gargano's former protege Theory show up. Mr. Money in the Bank was as cocky as ever, acknowledging what Gargano had taught him much during their time together in NXT, but he suggested he'd already accomplished all the dreams Gargano had. Their use of their past was perfectly handled and set the stage for an instant feud between the two. Number 11, No Time to Breathe. By now it's clear the WWE had no intention of letting the fans catch their breath during Raw. Whether it was an engaging match or a shocking segment, Raw did everything it could to keep the fans tuned in, succeeding with a capital S. And Main Event Mayhem. Now Edge did a Canadian destroyer last night. What the hell? Beth Phoenix running in to save him? Doesn't get much better than this. While Edge vs Priest could have been longer, the fans in Toronto ate up every second of the match and the post-match angle. Quite a fitting night for a Raw that was actually legitimately sold out. But what about the bad? As number 1, skimping out. The women's tournament has been fun, with the WWE introducing some entertaining teams and giving neglected wrestlers a chance to get some TV time. As such, last night's match between the team of Alexa Bliss and Asuka against Dakota Kai and Io Sky should have been given more time, as much as the WWE enjoys seeing longer matches, it should prioritize matches like this with more time rather than mid-card matchups like Dolph Ziggler vs Finn Balor. Well, there wasn't much bad, but there was one downright ugly, as a dangerous precedent. Now, why did Chad Gable use a diving headbutt? Fans can debate which moves should be banned for their inherent danger, such as pile drivers and vertebreakers, but few moves have been shown to be as detrimental to a wrestler's long-term health as the diving headbutt. The stories of how Harley Race, the Dynamite Kid and Chris Benoit destroyed their bodies with this move should be enough. Ban it now, Triple H, unless you want to put fans' entertainment over the health of wrestlers. But nevertheless, Raw over-delivered, with the WWE heating things up for Clash at the Castle, keeping the fans in suspense about Dexter Lumis' plans, teasing a Trish and Bayley match, and playing up to the hometown fans with appearances and matches by Trish Stratus, Edge, and even Aaliyah. What you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first we looks at Edge's retirement date in sight. At top of today's news, has Edge's retirement date been revealed? Now, as noted in our previous news videos, Edge has made it clear he sees his career winding down and that retirement is in the near future. Edge also discussed the end of his career after Raw went off the air, leading to talk as to just when he'll walk away. Here's what Edge told the fans. "I can't wait to hopefully come back one last time here in Toronto. I've been looking at the calendar, we usually come here in August. So next August I plan on seeing each and every one of you, and in a perfect world, we all say goodbye to each other that night." Dave Meltzer speculated about these comments on the Wrestling Observer Radio, saying he gave the impression that the show in August might be SummerSlam, and he said that it could be the end of his run. He signed a 3-year deal when he came back, but of course, he can retire if he wants to. It's very hard to walk away from that. He may feel that way today, but a year from now, who knows how he'll feel. I think he'll probably want to retire in Toronto and choose his own way of retiring. Edge's plans could change, and he might have been caught up in the moment when he addressed his Toronto fans. Do you think he's retiring next year? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Austin Theory is still getting a huge push. At the end of the Vince McMahon era and the rise of the Triple H era has shaken up the booking landscape, leading to questions about the future pushes of wrestlers who are Vince's favourites. One such wrestler is Austin Theory, who's enjoyed a huge push since debuting on the main roster. And now that Vince is gone, what's next for Mr. Money in the Bank? According to Dave Meltzer, Theory will continue getting pushed as he's seen as a wrestler with a lot of potential. While the original plan seemed to be Theory feuding with Dolph Ziggler, it looks like A-Town will be feuding with Johnny Gargano. Next up, Gigi Dolan injured. There's bad news for Toxic Attraction's Gigi Dolan, as she's sidelined with what is believed to be a concussion. Injuries are always bad, but this one will keep her and her tag team partner JC Jane from continuing in the women's tag team tournament. Meltzer reported on the Wrestling Observer that, concussion, she's out, and as far as what's happened from there, if they're gonna be brought up onto the main roster or not, we shall see. They were gonna be on the show tonight. Gigi and JC were gonna be on the show tonight doing something to promote Friday, and they were pulled from the tournament due to the injury. As we reported on our website, the WWE is holding a second chance fatal 4-way tag match with the teams of Tamina Dana Brooke, Shotzi Io Shirai, Doudrop Nikki Ash, and Natalya Sonya Deville competing to take on Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah in the semi-finals. We send our well wishes to Gigi for a fast and full recovery. And finally, Johnny Gargano's surprise appearance. Last but not least, it looks like Johnny Gargano not only surprised fans with his return, but his fellow wrestlers. Fightful is reporting that Gargano was not listed on the WWE's internal paperwork because the company wanted to keep his signing a secret. According to the report, no one knew he was going to be there until he debuted on television. But there you have it, folks, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.